JJ Barnes, and this is Jonathan McKinney.
Good day, hello.
And you are listening to our episode 5 of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier podcast, where we take each episode, we break it down, we do a little plot summary, we talk about what we liked, what we didn't like, and then our thoughts and theories for the future, which obviously our thoughts and theories today will be for the finale.
Yeah.
Like the last episode.
Yeah. I don't know if we're really going to expect any twists and turns at this point.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be, people smashing into each other.
Yeah, but we all have thoughts and theories. Every week I say this, but we try to break it into the 4 sections, right? So we try to be very strict about it. Like, you do your plot summary, likes, dislikes, and we try to do plot in order that it happens on the screen so that it's not confusing. But, I get overexcited particularly. He's much more good at sort of keeping to the structure because he's much more sort of organised in his brain, whereas I'm a big scatterhead, and I get overexcited and sort of...
I mean, you're being kind to me, but I think last week I was so keen to jump about that we...
To be fair, we did just...
I certainly, if not led, I enabled.
You did enable. You enabled my scatterbrainage where I just jumped around all over the place getting overexcited. So, yeah, we should just jump in. I mean, I want to say before we jump in, oh my god, I really enjoyed this episode.
Me too.
So, right, okay, so we
still haven't talked about it at all. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you are, for some reason, jumping in on episode 5 of the podcast about this show, and that's fine, welcome, you're welcome, new human. Basically, we do not discuss this TV show until literally right now. We have not talked about it. We watch it separately and we discuss it for the first time over this Podlesphere. So yeah, I really, really enjoyed this episode. So much of it was outstanding.
It was very much everything I've kind of wanted from this show so far. Not like going in, because when we went into this, I didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I wanted more of this kind of stuff all the way. Every episode, now we're getting a lot.
Yeah, the opening fight sequence, which is actually playing on our screen.
Well, it's about to.
Yeah, we have it on silent in the background. You gotta give me the shield, man. I tell you what, that opening fight sequence, because I was when I watched this, I was peeling potatoes. Mm-hmm. I was making mashed potatoes for our dinner. So I was chopping and peeling, and you know what I mean? And I was, oh my gosh. When
Sam says, you got to give me the shield. And that's when he looks up, and you can just see that it's the equivalent of, you want me to put the hammer down.
It is! Right? You want me to put the hammer down?
Yeah, very good. It is the equivalent of that when he says, you've got to give me the shield, and you just know where it's going. And you know he's got the super soldier serum.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't, but he's got wings. It's just...
Oh my god, when he gets his wings ripped off him.
Yeah.
You know what? But honestly, the bit where he's on his back with John Walker over him, and John Walker says, I am Captain America, right? And he raises the shield up. I literally, as I say, I was chopping and peeling potatoes. I just put the peeler down, and I sharp intake of breath and just gripped the counter, because you don't know. You know what I mean?
You thought it was possible that he was going to kill him.
I thought it was possible, and I didn't think it was likely. Right?
I never really thought that Sam was in any danger.
I didn't think it was likely, but it was very tense, and in the back of my mind, there was just the potential. But
it is such a good
You know what? I thought to myself when I was watching this, the fight choreographers, they had a absolute ball, because they've got Sam wafting around on his big wings, whacking at things. They've got the shield being zip 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 this way. They've got Bucky with his big metal arm whacking the crap out of stuff.
Yeah,
they were just given free range. It's like telling fight choreographers, not only do I want you to choreograph a fight between 3 very, very strong, very competent fighters.
Yeah.
But you've got massive wings to whack people with and fly.
And you have to use all of these things.
You want to use them all. You've got super strength. You've got, it's just epic. It's genuinely like it is like the wing ripping off, the shield lifting, like it's so good.
Yeah.
Bucky getting whacked by the shield and thrown across the room, and then he's got the shield and he's fighting over the shield. It's right. I am not particularly into fight scenes.
No, I'm not.
Like, I get bored when fight scenes go on for too long. Because I'm like, yeah, he hits him.
This was brilliant. Like when John Walker's arm gets busted.
Oh my god, when his arm gets broken because they fight over the shield. I was like,
this is incredible. It's absolutely brilliant. And I don't I don't like fight scenes in movies and TV shows particularly. Like I like the fight scenes in The Matrix. I like all of them in The Matrix.
It's funny. I'm saying I don't like fight scenes, and this time last week I was getting thoroughly overexcited by the fight scene in the apartment when the Wakandans show up with those big spears. It's the same again. I was excited by a fight scene.
The thing is, it's not just a fight scene though. It's characters that you're familiar with showing up and interrupting the story.
Yeah.
And that's what Marvel's been doing since the beginning, and that's since Put the Hammer Down.
Mm.
When they meet, they fight. And they come up with a good reason for it.
Yeah, and it's not just, the thing is, you're right, it's not just, they're fighting. Like, so many fight scenes in films, just, punch, punch, punch. These are fight scenes that have got personality and character, and they're not just, we'll fight. They're fighting for, a reason you understand. It's not just, we'll have a punch-up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get it. You get the stakes. The conflict is very present.
It is always very present, and in this show it has been. I mean, I'd say when it's the Dora Milaje, when they attack again, that's brilliant. You get something personal to care about in the conflict, because Zemo is the as we all know, he killed the Wakandan king T'Chaka, and so it's very personal. We've heard even about he chose us. This was in last week's episode. We have our grief and our shame. So yes, if you can infuse your fight scene, I suppose, with not just loads of cool gadgets that get used.
Yeah, because
that demonstrate the specifics of the characters that are on screen. Because Bucky isn't throwing a shield; he's using his robot arm. Sam's using his wings. Evil Captain America's using his shield and his super soldier serum, and that creates a unique fight.
Yeah.
Right? And you also got all of the personal shit that's going on.
Yeah.
Just to to make it more compelling.
I love when they're saying to him you can't be Captain America now. Sort of, it's over. Because they know, and he knows, but he won't.
He won't give it up.
I tell you what, you know how we've talked before about how Sam is going to be Captain America.
Yes.
Right.
And this episode had me doubting it, and then
I know
very much confirmed it. I'd say.
But I tell you what, when he goes and he's talking to, I want to say Torres,
from
the first
Joaquin Torres. So let me tell you something, right? Because I didn't know this when we watched the first episode. He showed up and he gets the wings. He is the current Falcon in the comic books, Joaquin Torres.
I love that, man, because he leaves him the wings.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But because I just loved it because I was like, when I watched it, I was like, right, he's leaving the wings. Because
he's shedding his...
He's shedding his former...
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I love that. Because I really like that character.
Yeah.
I was glad to see him again because I liked him from before.
Yeah.
So I was glad to see him again. So I really enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool. I like that. But yeah, I liked it because it was okay, he's stepping away. He's stepping away from his former identity so that he is identityless and ready
to be Captain America. And honestly, I mean, we'll get to it. Do you want to jump out, or do you want to kind of rattle through the moments? Because at the moment we're up to John Walker being.
We'll try and go. I say we try and go chronologically because I feel like it is a better idea for the episode.
So, with regards to the scene where John Walker is told that he's not being court-martialed, but he's being discharged and not
non-honourably. So he's not being dishonourably discharged.
No, okay,
he's being non-honourably.
Yeah, but I love how he loses his shit.
He's so good.
Smacking his hand on the thing and he's shouting about how he lived by their mandate.
He's so good.
He's great.
Right? Like, and I know we hate him, etc.,
he's a prick.
Yeah,
but
he acts, and he is.
He's such an interesting
brilliant.
prick. Do you know what I mean?
He's really interesting,
Like,
and
this scene, you could easily go with this scene. You could just go where he's been humbled and he's brought low, but his ego is still, incredibly powerful. He's shouting at these people. He's a live wire, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just more interesting to watch than if he was like.
But also, it's right. I feel like you're right. He could Molly. So the dog arguing with the cat. Lord above, the animals when we podcast.
Yeah.
Right, if you're a regular listener and not joining us for episode 5, you'll be familiar with our exasperation of our animals.
Yeah, 2 things. We've got noisy, skittering animals, and we pour wine, and you can hear it.
Yes. With non-stop professionalism over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you're right. This scene, when he gets non-honorably discharged, right? You're right. It could have been him being humbled and sad. Or it could have been him being like a lunatic. All the way through, crazy, like angry, proving that he's a monster of a man.
Yeah.
And it's neither.
No, he's an incredibly zealous.
He's kind of in pain, but passionate.
Yeah.
And he cares deeply about his job. He says again, I am Captain America.
He does, yeah.
Like, he is not giving that up. He's like, no, I am Captain America. Because this is the thing that he has committed himself to, and he believes in. And, like, he really isn't just doing it because it's a job. He's really passionate about the responsibility of that role. And, yeah, he's obviously screwed up badly, but...
It's interesting because Captain America, the one we like, the old man Steve, he never insisted, I am Captain America. He never once. Iron Man does it all the time. He's always saying, I am Iron Man. He's like Batman. He's like, I am Batman. So yeah, we get it.
Yeah.
You're Iron Man. We've got it. So much so that's his sort of final words when he's fighting Thanos. And they set it up with I'm inevitable, I'm Iron Man, right? And this guy, he said that Steve Rogers was a hero of his. In the first, or not a hero, that was Nico, wasn't it? But he said that he was like an inspiration and like a brother. And
I feel like, he feels very much like he has something to prove, and maybe that's a sign that Tony Stark's sort of
insecure about whether he's Iron Man or not.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, there's a sort of over-inflation of your own importance to try and prove a point to other people.
If you need to state your identity, then you're assuming that it doesn't speak for itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Which,
exactly.
Steve doesn't need to tell you.
He doesn't need to. He's fine. But yeah, you're right. It suggests that John Walker and Tony Stark are not secure in their not just their identity, but their identity as perceived by other people. So they have to really hammer it home.
Yeah, which is in his case, in John Walker's case, probably to do with his insecurity about how he's not up to the same standard as Steve Rogers, right? Either morally and ethically, and for wisdom and sheer physical strength and experience. In Tony's case, maybe because he was kind of a bastard for a long time.
Yeah, I feel like with Tony Stark, if I go with the train of thought, right, he is presenting himself to the world. I mean, now he's dead, but he was presenting himself to the world as a hero, someone trustworthy, responsible, and he knows that he was not a great guy. Yeah. So he is insecure about, like, he feels, like, I say, I'm like doing a deep dive on his, but just go.
That's fine.
Right?
I mean,
the only reason he's a hero is because he's rich and smart. It's not because he's noble or moral.
Well, I think that he learns. I think
he does become.
Like, I think because he says, I think in that first movie, he says that he saw young Americans killed by weapons with the word Stark written on them.
Yeah, like, I don't, like, don't get me wrong, like, I think he does end up somebody really noble and moral and worthy of being a hero. But he didn't start off becoming a hero because of his qualities.
No, he wasn't.
It was literally, he's smart and rich.
And he went through that experience.
Yeah. So. But he could have built that suit any time. He didn't, obviously, but he could have intellectually. And in a cave with scraps.
Yeah. Yeah, Tony Stark. What is it? What's the line? He built the... No, I can't remember the line.
In a cave full of scraps.
In a cave with a box of scraps.
Box of scraps.
Yeah. Classic.
Anyway, back to John Walker.
Yeah.
So he goes out with his lovely wife, who, bless her, she is a patient woman.
She is a patient woman. Well, she loves him, clearly. And also she's an empathetic person. She's got a hand on his back.
Yeah.
She's telling him what she thinks that will lift him. And also sets him on his path as well. You've got to go and speak to Lamar's parents.
Yeah, exactly. She's a good woman.
Yeah, and a good influence on him.
Yeah, she's very... You're right. She clearly loves him. She sees that he wants to be good. Like, she doesn't think he's a bad person because she knows him prior to the super serum, prior to all of this crap. She knows him as the war hero that he was.
He's not a villain.
No, he's not.
He's a prick.
And
we don't like him, but...
But he's not blowing people up for the fun of it. Like, he isn't. But, okay, right. So, you know the woman, the Contessa Val?
Yeah.
Whatever. Like, okay. So, on last week's podcast... Right. And it was on YouTube. So, if you're listening on the old podcast streaming, this puddle also goes out on our YouTube channel. And Ray D-ology... Right.
Okay.
Commented on last week's podcast on YouTube that he thought a female character was going to come into this episode.
Really?
Yeah. He said he thought she would be John Walker's lawyer. He said, obviously, he's going to need a lawyer because he's just done this murder. But he didn't have... So I was watching it. I was like, oh, no, right. No lawyers shown up. I was like, because I was like, his theory is that a woman is going to come in and be his lawyer, who is a Marvel character. So I was watching it. I was like, oh, no, okay, so that hasn't come through. And then I'm watching it, and I'm like, oh, look, this really, like, charismatic, interesting,
like, ethically questionable.
Like, obviously someone, Contessa, I mean, I love her. She's brilliant. Like, she's great on screen. She's interesting.
So it's, Contessa Valentina Allegra de la Fontaine.
Yes. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe Ray D-ology was onto something.
Well, her notable alias is Madam Hydra.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know anything about her, but yeah.
Interesting. Ray D-ology's theory was there was going to be a She-Hulk.
Well, there is going to be a She-Hulk. I believe that's already been announced.
Oh, really?
I think...
Like, I try so hard to avoid anything. It's like, because my stepson, John's little boy, Ezekiel, he's very passionate about his Marvel intake, but he loves to watch in advance of things. The YouTube videos, the theories, the spoilers, the trailers. He doesn't mind about spoilers at all. So he'll just consume as much as he can. And every time I'm like, nope. Even a child talking about what he thinks, I'm like, no, I don't want to hear what you think is coming. I don't want to hear what you have seen somebody theorize is coming. I do not want to, but I do enjoy having conversations with people on our podcast because for that it feels to me like when we talk,
like we're speculating rather than getting inside information.
Exactly, right? It feels like it's chatting about it rather than I have been watching and researching. Mm-hmm. So when Ray D-ology said that there was going to be a woman lawyer, he was like, I think there's going to be
It's interesting he said a woman.
Yeah, he said he thinks that. He said he thought John Walker would need a lawyer and that he thinks that will be a good point for She-Hulk to show up. When the Contessa Val Von Fontaine, blah, 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 Val shows up, I was like, oh, maybe he was right all along. Because, as I say, in the courtroom scene, I was like, never mind. But I was like, ooh! Because she is obviously someone, right? She's obviously.
Yeah. She has a slight sort of lawyer vibe, but you definitely get a sort of villainess.
You know who she reminds me of?
Go on.
Mirage from The Incredibles.
I can't remember Mirage.
Right, so because she shows up and she, like, meets Mr. Incredible and she's like, I'll contact you. And, like, she sort of then whisks him off to the island to fight the robot and stuff. But, like, she has a very sort of mysterious, charismatic, sexy energy to her. And she's like, I'll be in touch. But there's no, like, he doesn't understand how or what's going to happen. I love it when he looks at the card and he's like, there's nothing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, it just reminded me of Mirage from The Incredibles. The sort of woman who comes along and, like, is all mysterious, but obviously up to something and interesting.
Yeah, it's good because, like, it's John Walker's wife who says to her, like, who are you? And she sort of hands her the card whilst facing and continuing to talk to John.
And then she says, like, your second best choice was marrying this firecracker.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, honestly, like, I love the wife's face, because she's just like,
yeah, like, you literally just going to put yourself in between us.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about how his wife is like a good influence on him, the idea that this woman comes and sits in between them, and is like, I think you were right to kill that guy. Like,
yeah, I agree. And the wife is like, she's obviously miffed, and you're right. It's very symbolic. Like, she's being a real good woman. She's saying you've got to go talk to Lamar's parents, and I believe in you, and all this other stuff. And she's coming along like, I'll be in touch, take my call. And it's like, ooh, she's the counter-wife.
The counter-wife.
The anti-wife.
The anti-wife equation.
The anti-wife equation. Snyder joke.
Yeah.
I need more wine.
It is. That's my take on it anyway, is that she's representing the potential.
And Madam Hydra.
Madam Hydra. She's clearly not a good character.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed her. Yeah. Her screen presence was great. She was I was like, ooh, I like you.
Yeah, she doesn't come in a small capacity. She's clearly got a part to play.
And the confidence. I was like watching her and I was like, I really wish I had that kind of chutzpah.
Well, you don't necessarily want to be a sort of strutting.
No, I don't want to be a strutting woman of evil. But I would like to be a strutting woman of potentially questionable morals.
There you go.
Yeah.
You just got to strut more.
I should strut. I need to learn to strut. I need heels.
Yeah.
I think if I wore high heels, I might strut.
Yeah.
I think they give you the sort of elevated lifting of the foot.
Well, they didn't give Sam any strut capacity when he had to wear heels in episode whatever it was, the Power Broker.
Oh yeah, and he's like,
I can't run in these heels.
I can't run. He's like, I'm dressed like a pimp.
Right, let's crack on.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
No.
So they go to Carly. We go to Carly and the flag smashers. I still cannot even with that name.
It's because they're crap. They're by far the worst part of this show.
They are. Right. I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah.
And I know, like, the whole way through they're saying, oh, Carly's not going to give up, and Carly's gone deep underground, and Carly's got supporters, all this, that, right? I literally...
Well, she's in the place where, what's-his-name was murdered, where Nico was killed by Captain America.
Yeah,
and,
right.
And we get more exposition about how the GRC have been hunting them and rounding them up, etc.
I keep forgetting about them.
Yeah.
Every time we watch this, and we're getting like real good stuff with Captain Zumo and
Nemo, actually. Captain Nemo,
Baron Zumo, right? Or like and Sam and Bucky and like Faked in America. Like I'm getting right into it, and I'm loving all the chemistry between them and like everything that's going on. I even like Sharon, and I'm not particularly keen on the actress, but I enjoy her scenes.
You don't like the woman who plays Sharon Clark?
I mean, I don't dislike her. She doesn't captivate me particularly.
She seems to be a somewhat emotionally empty character.
Yeah, and I think that's the problem, because she's sort of, I mean, I don't know if what she would be like in other things, but she kind of plays it a bit dead inside. Yeah. Like she's sort of just going through the motions. Yeah. And so
that's not, I don't think, the actor's fault. I think it's...
the character's obviously, she sort of had to shut down emotionally to cope with stuff. It's my take.
And also, there's not always time to do something as personal and interesting as they're doing with
So
Sam
I'm
and
not
Bucky
really... I'm not bothered by her, but it's fine. I enjoy her scenes well enough. But these guys, I just...
There's nothing to say about the Flag Smasher bit. It's basically the bit where they are in the square where Nico was killed, and the leader, Carly Morgenthau, says, "Oh, it's time," because, you know, they have another scene where they talk to each other about why they're doing what they're doing. It's like, okay, got it. You've got the one guy with the long hair. Carly's with a Warsaw accent, or she slipped a little bit into her regional, because she's from not far from where we are. Erin Kellyman. I think it's not in the scene in the square, but later when she says "our lives."
Is she Dudley?
I think
Cannock.
Not Cannock, but Telford, I think.
Is she Telford? That's not far at all.
Our lives.
Lives. I love that. That's really
her accent,
funny.
a lot of the time, is quite sort of just English.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of moments where you get that.
I love that. I'd rather they let her just be regional.
Well, I mean, it might be just the way she talks. Like, people...
Yeah, I know. I know a lot of actors sort of try and adjust their regional accents. I mean, I don't know if I suppose they do in America as well. They sort of try to just do generic American.
According to Anchorman, they do, because Veronica Corningstone mentions how she spent years working on her non-regional dialect. Right,
yeah. But I love a regional dialect. Like, I really enjoy that. I think that's
Our
fun.
lives.
Our lives. But it's like, I love hearing, like, I love that you can tell which end of our little town someone's from.
Yeah.
Like, our town is really, really small, but you can tell which side of the track someone comes from based on how they talk.
16 or 17.
Yeah, like 100%. On that side of the tracks, you've got one way you're talking.
The
on
Northern
this
Bastards.
side, or this side of the tracks, you've got another. It's really funny. But anyway, so we go on to the scene with Zemo.
Zemo. Let's at least say his name correctly once.
I'm trying.
It's absolutely brilliant. Again, okay.
Oh my god, I love this scene so much.
The one question I have, it's not a criticism, but the one question I have is that the big song and dance about the shooting him. You know, I can't speak highly enough about what the musician, the composer was doing. The music in this scene is incredible. I have no
recollection of the music. This might not shock you.
It made me want to to turn up the bass in my music, in my orchestral music.
In Ivy?
No, in more mournful, sort of serious. Not that Ivy isn't serious, but these more sort of, high stakes. Things like this. It's very bassy, and it's just very like Zemo's got his own theme, and it's not commonly used, but it is tragic. Like, he's given a lot of respect by the writing, the performance, and the score.
Do you know what I'm really happy about, right? You know, they said, they made a point of saying he's going to live out his life in, I don't know, whatever the Marvel equivalent of Azkaban is, right?
Right. Well, yeah, like the Joker always goes to Arkham, but then he gets out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm really happy, because it means that at some point, Baron Nemo is going to bust out, and we're going to have more of him, because I want more of him. He's brilliant.
He is brilliant. And in this moment, when Bucky is going to shoot him, and he pulls the trigger, but Bucky knows that he doesn't have any bullets in him.
Yeah, but he doesn't.
What is the point?
Right.
I'm not saying there isn't one.
I've got
some theories.
But... I've got theories, because I agree. I didn't think he was going to shoot him. I feel like Bucky was testing him.
That's the only way to explain it to me. It's
because...
do you, with the vials, do you run away or do you fight me?
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that there is
respect between them.
And also, I think Bucky... Yeah, respect, but I think Bucky senses... Because Bucky's in a lot of pain, right? Bucky has a lot of pain and has sort of thought about his own death to try and cope with his pain. It's not like this is a man who is very happy-go-lucky. And I think he kind of senses that in Zemo. And I think he's sort of seeing, is he as strong but devastated as me?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because
that's quite a good...
way of looking at it. He wants to know, because he knows he's going to be taken off by the Wakandans, right? He knows. Because he's obviously arranged it.
He doesn't need to do this to distract Zemo.
No, not at all.
That wouldn't make any sense.
Exactly, but I think he wants to know, truly, where Zemo is at. Like, are you on the level of me? Are you really fucking strong, both, you know, emotionally and physically? Like, he's a good fighter too. Like, I know Zemo's not super soldier.
Yeah.
Like, obvious, like, he rejects super soldier.
He is like the Joker. His strength is in his head.
Exactly right. But he is a good fighter. Like, you know, he's obviously strong, very competent fighter man. But yeah, I think Bucky is like, I just need to clear up where you're at and if I can relate to you like I think I do. And I think the fact that Zemo doesn't cry, beg, run, nothing. Bucky's like, I can send you off with the Wakandans, understanding you.
I think, and I agree, I think that Bucky's also communicating something about himself to Zemo. Because Zemo has told him in multiple episodes now.
Yeah, that he's a killer.
That he should kill Carly.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that too. He's sort of making a point like,
he's saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to kill her. I'm not going to kill you.
I like that better than mine.
Well, it can be both. Like, it can be neither. It can be literally just that the Marvel people wanted a dramatic thing.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
But I don't think
they don't do that. I think they do things for a reason. And yeah, it's funny that, because yours makes way more sense. Mine was a sort of...
They both make equal amounts of sense, right?
Gut sense of...
Because he does test him. Like, he is watching his response.
Yeah.
When he's pointing the gun at him.
He's handsome.
Bucky.
Yeah.
He wasn't, but he looks great now with his leather coat.
You know what? Right. I saw pictures of him as a young'un.
I'm not saying he wasn't handsome. I mean, he seems more magnetic now.
Like,
no, but he's obviously a movie star. Like,
as a youngling, though.
Right.
I saw photos of him as a youngling when he was like teens and 20s. And I'm like, I am not attracted to you.
That's apparently for the best.
Yes. But I mean, like, apparently when they get sort of a bit grizzled and moody, I'm like, now you're quivering my loinage.
when their character is developed in your favourite ongoing soap opera of superheroes.
Yeah. It's like,
fancy him, fancy him, fancy him.
Yeah,
fancy
I do.
Him.
I enjoy it in this one because I fancy all of them.
But not John Walker.
No.
Again, not because he's unattractive man. He's
clearly about. Yeah, I agree. You know what? There was a moment in this, and I'm not sure which moment it was, but I feel like he was lying. It was probably when in the first fight, right, when he's lying on his back, and his profile. He reminded me so much of Steve Rogers.
Yeah, I've thought the same thing a few times.
So much the way they've shot, because he doesn't look like him.
No, but they gave him the same hair.
Same hair, but
at least.
Yeah, I agree. But there was like, I looked at that profile shot of him, and I feel like if you'd used him as a body double, for that shot in another movie, you wouldn't have noticed. I wouldn't have questioned it. Yeah. It's like when we use Laura as a body double for Vicky in Hollowhood. It's like fake Vicky, real Vicky,
Laura's
fake
about
Vicky.
Half a foot taller.
Yeah.
But just crouch down a little bit, Laura.
Crouch down a little bit. You've got the same colour hair. It'll be fine. But yeah, like, remarkable. But yeah, I really liked this scene. I loved it when the Wakandans came in. Like, they are. I'm dying to know what they do with Wakanda now.
Well, there's going to be Black Panther 2.
Oh.
And obviously, there's real life situations that affect what they're going to be able to do. Because
I love those warrior women.
Yeah,
I think they're fucking brilliant.
I'd like to know them a little more. At the moment, they're a bit like Grey Worm and his,
I agree.
Army. But they stand with spears and they stand very straight. I'd like to know something else beyond.
I just really the thing is, right? Okay, we know this about me. We know this about me based on the female characters that I love.
Sure.
I genuinely really love watching women batter the crap out of men.
Yeah. You must love our daughter.
I'm quite, I tolerate.
I mean, you're her mother. But aside from the fact that
my little womb potato who batters the crap out of boys. Yes, I'm quite fond of her.
Our 4-year-old daughter, recently said, and it was like a calm, casual thing. If anybody tries to hurt me, I would just kill them.
Yeah. She was literally stacking blocks.
I would just kill them.
She was just stacking blocks. She was sitting on the floor with her Duplo, you know what I mean? Mega blocks it was. And she's just like, we were talking about fighting and standing up for yourself. You know, it was like just a chat, but it was with the big two. It was really with the big two, like, because she's 4. And she's like, if anyone tries to fight me, I'll kill them.
I'll just kill them.
And it's fine. And I'm like, okay. I don't doubt you, little tyrant.
Yeah, that's the Celtic blood.
But yeah, I love female characters who are like Sydney, like Buffy, like female characters that are just really fucking strong.
Yeah.
And like, not just batter men, like, I'm not like a complete psycho, but I love it when they are female characters who are able to do the thing that I never could do.
Yeah, the enjoyment of watching like a male character try the male dominating thing
and not be able
shut
to
down by a woman who's empowered physically.
Yeah, I love it.
Not in a kind of like, oh, women have to be like men and warriors or anything like that, but just
it's for me. It's like, yes, that is the thing. I wish I'd been able to stand up for myself, and I never could, and you can. And I love you. Yeah. I love them. Yeah, I'm really excited for more from Wakanda because I love the idea of, and I like that we're getting to know, as I say, that scene when she's like freeing Bucky from his magic words.
Yeah.
Like you get a bit more of these women. You get to know them, and I like that. So what's next?
So we go to Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh, when he goes to see Isaiah.
I know it's not Maryland, it's Maryland. But
oh, is it? Is it not Maryland?
No, but it sounds funny if you say Maryland.
I thought it was Maryland.
So yeah, Sam goes to see...
Is it like Marylebone? It's not Marylebone, it's Marylebone.
I don't know.
Marland.
I don't know about Marylebone, but it's... Well, in The Lonesome Death of Hattie Carroll, Bob Dylan sings Maryland, which is where Hattie Carroll was from.
Maryland,
not Maryland.
Oh, I'm going to trust Bob Dylan.
He probably knows.
I say Maryland.
Maryland. It's where all the women are Marys. You want Marys, come to Maryland. And also, if you want to see Isaiah Bradley and figure out if you should be Captain America or not.
I tell you what, this is the scene that made me think, oh, maybe Captain America is just going to be put to rest.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, maybe, because he put the shield as a memento at the beginning, right? And I was like, maybe that is literally what's going to be the right choice. That the world needs a new superhero because Captain America has to go with the old ways, right?
Yeah.
And the world needs to be open to a superhero who, like, I love when he's saying, like, the world won't accept a Captain America who's black. And I love that later Bucky says the same thing. Yeah. He's like, I don't think Steve or I were...
it's really good.
Because it's like, I don't love that he says the world's not ready for... I just mean that I love that it's acknowledged
you're
explicitly.
Able to see these ideas played out through characters that you
exactly. And I love that not only is it acknowledged very, like, outright, but then Bucky repeats it because of what he has learned on his journey. His story journey has taken him from resenting Sam to understanding Sam.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good thing. And as I say, it's a really sad state of affairs, if you like, a better way of putting it, that is a truth that Isaiah, I'm like Zemo, Nemo, Isaiah.
So first of all, I want to talk about the fact that Sam is carrying the shield around in a very conspicuous circular bag.
Oh my god, it wasn't the moment when he walks in, right, because I was just watching it, but when he walks out again and he's got the circular bag, and I was thinking, he wouldn't need to take the shield out of the bag to show him what he's got. Of course
it's obviously the shield.
And I was like,
what else goes in that bag?
Right, but I was like,
nothing else in the world.
Do they make specific shield cases? Like, the shield wasn't in a case. It was covered in blood and stolen, like, from the broken arm of Fake Tin America. So, did they, like, and they haven't given it back to the government. The government might well have specially designed shield cases. But where did Sam get a specially designed shield case?
He's gone on to Etsy and commissioned a bespoke
Shield case.
Shield case.
I love like Etsy. He's like everything off Etsy.
Made from, organic weavings. But no, it's funny that
it is. It's
he
really...
looks silly carrying the shield in that little brown bag.
It does, because it's obviously a bespoke shield luggage.
Yeah, exactly. $6.99.
No, it would be more for the fabric.
More for the fabric, yeah.
Yeah.
And probably the time. So okay, like $30.
Yeah, I mean, it was gonna, that is because also a circle is not easy to sew.
Yeah.
Because it rooks the fabric, right?
Yeah,
so that is a really carefully and custom design. Plus, you've got to have the zip. There's just got to be. It's a big zip, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because to get the shield out, the zip has to be quite long.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be literally half the thing. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck. Sorry, Isaiah. I'll try and get this out of the.
Yeah, exactly. It won't come out. So, and it's got like little carrying handles. You've got to have some nice tough fabric for that. So.
Yeah, because you don't want it ripping after 2 weeks.
Exactly. Got to have some really good, solid fabric. Yeah. Because that's an expensive piece of kit, right? I mean, that's some shit you've got to carry around.
Yeah. So, yeah, he goes in. He walks like me carrying, like, the bag with the wine in it, right? As in, he's sort of one arm tensed a little bit, and he's keeping his balance. He wants, really, to be carrying a shield in both hands. Because then you've got natural balance.
Yeah.
Right? You've got a shield in one hand, it's quite a heavy shield in a bag, and in your other hand you've got nothing. You're like, I'm having to do a lot of work just to keep the balance straight. I'm going to do my back. So, yes, he goes in, he goes to speak to Isaiah Bradley, and much like yourself, this was the scene that made me start to feel like a little guilty for wanting Sam to be Captain America in the first place.
Because he talks about it, like, experimented on me, like, it's like the blue-eyed blonde, and he says to him, like, Steve didn't do that, but it's what Steve represented, and the fact that Steve was chosen, like, the fact that Steve looked like the kind of guy, I mean, he talks about what he went through rescuing the guys, and it didn't matter because they were killed anyway. Like, that man has been...
Well, that is interesting, that statement that Isaiah makes. It's because that is the same thing that Steve did.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to go and save Bucky and the others. But he did it anyway and was celebrated.
They survived. They lived.
Well, the point is that Steve was celebrated for doing that.
They weren't killed anyway to cover up what had happened. Like,
I think that he says that they continued to be tested on, so they died over time.
Oh, I thought because they'd said, like, we had to blow up the prisoner of war camp, like, that's why he went to rescue them, but it didn't matter. They died anyway.
I thought he was more of, like, saying that they died sort of slowly because of testing and stuff.
Like, it could have been.
I'm a little unclear, and I feel like there's some of the backstory of Isaiah Bradley is for people who are familiar with, his story's called Truth. This episode's called Truth.
Oh.
So there's a thing. Because, like, I haven't read Truth, the comic about Isaiah Bradley. But I'm done.
I bet it's good.
Oh, yeah, apparently it's very good.
Right, I bet it's good. Because...
well, you know Mark Bernardin, right? I mean, I've mentioned him before.
Yeah.
Right? He said on the podcast with Kevin Smith, Fat Man Beyond, that he had met Marvel, people from Marvel, saying he wanted to make that. He's a writer in Hollywood, and he wanted to make Truth into a movie.
And he's a black man, isn't he?
He is.
So he probably, like...
Well, yeah, he's talked
it would
about
be
it. He
sort
loves
of...
this stuff.
Yeah, I think that if you are a black man in America...
and you love Marvel... And
that is going to speak to you and be a personal thing to you. In the way that watching a strong woman like stand up for herself is personal to me for my own history and shit. I feel like
all my heroes were always treated like kings, so I don't have any of that.
I love you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So, but apparently Marvel said no, you can't touch that storyline, and so he was like, "Oh, I guess you must be doing something then." Because, sure enough, like, he shows up in this, but this isn't really the Isaiah Bradley story. But anyway.
But it does, we were saying earlier, seed the ground for potentially more.
Absolute.
And they've got Dixon in the role, so he's going to be fantastic.
Yeah, I agree.
And not Dix. I know he's not really Dixon.
He's really Dixon.
He's Dixon.
And he's also Bulldog, and he's also that guy from The West Wing. whose name I don't remember.
He will always be Dixon to me.
He's Dixon, Bulldog, that guy from the West Wing. He's like, well, your problem's with the Germans. Goddamn right it is.
Okay, so what else do you need to say?
Anybody who's listening to this, who's seen that episode of the West Wing as many times as me, is going, I know that bit.
What do we need to talk to about?
About Isaiah. Okay, so he says no self-respecting black man would be like Captain America. And I was like, I might have to stop wanting Sam to be Captain America.
I literally, right, because I did a video for my YouTubes, well, our YouTubes, that's going to go out on Friday, where I said it was about how to write an inspirational character, and that you're inspired by characters you watch grow and become the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And I said about Sam, I said, like, you watch him grow and change and learn, and through the story become somebody who is Captain America. I was like, we don't know yet. I was like, by the time this goes out, you might know if Sam is Captain America. I was like, and if he's not, I was like, you might think I'm a complete twat. I was like, but from my take of the story, I'm like, Sam is an inspirational character because you watch him become this person who is like noble, true, honest, good,
and the straight arrow.
The best version of himself that he can be. Right. And I was watching this, I'm like, when that video goes out on Friday, I'm gonna look like a twat. And now I'm like, maybe I won't look like a twat.
No, because I agree that when it was happening, I was like, maybe I shouldn't want this. Like, because my job really is to listen. Okay. You know what I mean? Like, not to be like, oh, Isaiah, you're wrong. You should think differently because let me tell you about why you should think differently.
Yeah, no, 100%. I was like, I hadn't considered it from that perspective.
I was ready to be like, look, if the show's going to tell me. I mean, obviously, Sam had these reservations at the start.
Yeah,
and I was listening then, but I just thought that he would grow and change to the point where he wanted to be Captain America. But we hadn't had the words, no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America.
Yeah, I agree.
Until this episode, and I was like, is that the mood? Because if that's the mood, I'm going to let Sam be something else.
From the way he talks, you're like, yeah, I can see.
Yeah. Well,
I don't necessarily agree,
but
compelling. I don't have to necessarily agree. I can understand where he's coming from. And I'm like, I understand. I was like, for me, I was still very much, but Sam should be.
But then maybe like that's the point. Maybe America owes Sam and people like Sam.
Well, that's the thing, right?
More than he owes America. So that's where I think Isaiah's coming from. Is like, you don't get to appropriate me, you fucking bastard.
Yeah, no, I mean, as I say, I completely understand. As I say, my gut, my heart was still very much like a sort of America and the world, well, the white Western world,
right,
needs to get a grip. And of course, accept a black Captain America because
black anyone.
Exactly. Yeah. Like my gut was sort of like, no, we need to challenge this, and of course he should be Captain America because he is such an incredible man. But then part of me was like, oh, but maybe you're right, and we shouldn't root for Sam to be Captain America. But then I was like, but I do.
Well. Towards the later part of the episode, you really get what you want.
Oh my god, the end of the episode, I was like, rah, rah, rah. I'm there with my potato peeler, like, yeah, peel.
It's Sam's journey, right? So from this moment where he's talking to Isaiah, to when he talks to his sister, to when he becomes essentially Captain America in his Rocky montage, right?
Yeah, I love. I'm not normally one for much of a montage.
No, I don't normally like a montage either.
I love that.
This was the best montage.
Right, the two montages in this show. I love both of them.
What was the other montage?
The montage of him and Bucky doing up the boat. I
did not like that. I was going to save that for when the things I don't like.
I was in.
Some of the stuff on the boat fixing.
I was having a great time.
I was glad for the flirting because I was like, stop showing me you guys fixing a boat while playing this guitar music. Cause
I was having a great time.
Well, that's because you've got eye candy and I don't.
Yeah. You know what? Right. You're right.
And as a underprivileged white male who's just finished watching The Sopranos, which is full of fat men and topless women.
You're like, this is just a bunch of hot men doing a bow-up.
Yeah. I don't want to look at these guys.
I was like, I do.
Well, good. So what else about Isaiah Bradley? Because it is, sorry, what's his name? Carl Lumley, who deserves a fucking, with the Marvel de-aging technology, right? A show about him when he was young being like the Captain America who was rejected. Like, wouldn't you watch that? Like the story he tells, wouldn't you watch a TV show about that?
Right, and they could probably just use a bunch of footage from Alias because he's running around with a gun battering people. Like, they could use some...
It'd be a lot of deep fake stuff. I don't think they will, because it's one thing to have Tony Stark de-aged in Civil War for like 2 minutes, but for an entire show...
They did it with Sam Jackson, Captain Marvel.
That is true, actually.
For the whole movie.
The whole movie, yeah. Although he's not the main character for like a series on television. Maybe like a 30-minute special or something.
I'd watch it.
I'd fucking watch it in a minute.
100% I would. And you know what? What I love about TV now, they could do that.
Yeah.
It's brilliant. You know what I mean? I know like a lot of shit goes about streaming services and how it's like the death of cinema, and like too much crap gets released because it's just content.
That's just
right.
To get you clicking on things.
Yeah, I agree. Because in no other climate with TV could we have been like, yeah, they could literally make a 30-minute one-off about this character's backstory.
Yeah. And literally millions of people would watch it.
Millions.
Oh, I can't believe we were going to... Right, carry on. Finish it.
Just, like, they couldn't have done this any other time in history with television, but now the streaming platforms means you can. Carry on.
Oh, no, it's sorry, I didn't mean to...
No,
I got distracted.
Okay, I was just
I got
rambling.
distracted because of Isaiah's cigar box. The thing he threw into the wall. The thing he threw into the wall was not just a box of cigars.
Yeah, it was the box about his wife.
It was the betrayal of his government.
Or girlfriend. Wife? Girlfriend?
I think his wife.
Wife, I think wife.
The woman, and he loved her so much, but she died before he got out of prison.
Yeah.
They never let him read the letters that she sent him.
Yeah, I mean, that
like,
just
you talk about like giving your characters personal motivation for their positions.
Imagine if that was you and me.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, do it anyway.
I don't want to, because I'm going to end up throwing a cigar box. It won't be a cigar box, it'll be a box of wine. A wine box.
A wine box.
But
yeah, like... Devastating.
Because when we had the conversation, because the throwing of the cigar box was the first explicit textual confirmation that he was a super soldier, right? Or that he had superpowers, because not many people can do that. But it wasn't just a prop. It was something, and we didn't know it then. It was something deeply personal. And the reason why it triggered so much rage that he threw it into the wall is because of what it meant. It wasn't just what they did to him, which was bad enough.
It was what they took from him.
It wasn't just the way they treated him because he was black. It's also, the personal cost, which is years and years and years with the woman that he was in love with. Like, Marvel understands really fucking well how to use personal stakes to motivate their characters. And it is a lesson to all of us. It's so easy to write things that don't do this. This scene, when the point of this scene is to have the conversation between Sam and Isaiah that challenges Sam to question whether or not he wants to be Captain America or not as a black man in America. But that's not enough for Marvel. They're like, yeah, that's great. That's the perfunctory reason for the scene, which the series needs. But how do we make it better? How do we push it into better territory?
How do we make it better? I should do a video on that. How do we make it better?
Well, use Isaiah Bradley as your...
It is a... I will remind me to put a note on my phone so I can make a list of video subjects I do. Yeah. Right, but
that obsession with making the drama more compelling is why this is such a successful
franchise.
Group of filmmakers and.
But I was going to say, you can understand. They seem to have a real solid understanding of romantic love, even though they don't write romantic stories.
Oh,
right?
Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel. They don't write romantic stories. They these are not a bunch of rom-coms.
No.
Right.
The closest you've got is the first Avenger, probably. But even then, he gets into trouble with her because he's smooching someone else.
Exactly, right? But they have an understanding of romantic love. Steve going back to Peggy. Wanda enslaving an entire town for Vision. Isaiah talking at this moment about his wife. Like, their understanding of the love, the romantic love and the power of it is...
In my feeling, it's personal stakes, because it's not always romantic. Like, Tony Stark, I don't care, he killed my mom, right? In Civil War. Steve's trying to reason with him. He didn't know. He wasn't in control. This is all true. You might as well kill Angel because of Angelus, right? But Tony Stark, I don't care, he killed my mom. It's not because he killed Pepper, it's because he killed my mom. But there's always a...
No, you're right. It's not necessarily romantic love. It's just love.
Well, yeah, it's love. It's like the people who matter.
Yeah, like Wanda's parents.
Yeah,
it's not romantic love. It is just love.
And what's his name? The brother.
Yeah, Pietro.
Pietro. Yeah, how did I forget that? We used to talk about it every week for 3 hours.
And Pietro.
And Pietro.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you're right. Like, it is love. Marvel are... And they don't treat it lightly. And I think that's a really important thing, because I think other franchises will treat the notion of a love for a parent or a lover as a kind of tool.
Sure. I mean, you're not just the franchises, just storytellers in general.
Yeah, it's a tool, and it can be used well, right? But if you actually, as a storyteller, invest real energy into understanding what love is and how it motivates people and how it hurts people when it's destroyed, it makes the scene that you're sort of dastardly style manipulating your audience by using the concept.
It's also
love.
Like therapy, though. It's noble.
Yeah.
Having, like, sitting and contemplating a man called Isaiah Bradley who never existed in real life.
Yeah.
But who lost, who's you know, the woman he loved died while he was in jail. And we see it play out, and that is the point of storytelling. It is noble. It is therapy. It allows you to feel, and when you feel it, you're not bottling it anymore. It comes out, and that's why we do what we're doing now. Is talking about things.
Yeah.
Is
because the power of this story and the love, it moves you, it affects you, and it makes you want to talk about it. I agree.
Okay, so are we done with Isaiah Bradley?
I think so. We go to the boat.
Yeah, so we go through a lot of boaty scenes.
Okay, I know you didn't love it. Okay,
there's a lot that I do like in the boaty scenes.
I love that when they go to the bank in, like, episode, I want to say 2?
1. That was the first one.
Was it Sam and Sarah in the bank in 1?
Yep.
Right, well, when they go into the bank, and he's like, how'd you get by? Like, he's like, oh, I like the kindness of strangers, kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of goodwill.
Exactly, right? And then he uses that. Like, not uses it like a bad thing. Like, he's like, no, people will be kind. If you have done good, people will be kind. And he's able to prove that. Like, people...
He calls it in.
But it's genuinely, it's really... It's not just, oh, okay, I've got to do this thing. No, everyone's like, oh, for your family? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, there's a very It's a Wonderful Life vibe.
It is, and it's really lovely.
It goes on for a long time.
And then Bucky shows up, right?
Yeah, he does.
And he just lifts the thing off the trailer, and then he presents him with the case.
Sam's face is hilarious as well when he lifts the thing.
I love it. Right, but remember, okay, so at the beginning of the series, like, Sam and Bucky were like like at each other so much that they're like need to ball in therapy. You know what I mean? Like, trying to be able to communicate, and then they're there like helping with the boat and doing it all.
I mean, okay, so I don't want to sound like I'm saying that I don't like all the stuff on the boat. I do. I think actually the story kind of needs it because it launched this concept in the first episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So you kind of need to.
And also, Sam had to take time away. He had to, because the conversation. If he'd had the conversation with Isaiah, right, and just cracked on straight away looking for Carly and doing it, it would suggest that conversation did nothing. He needed to go and have time away, right, to think. Because Sarah says, are you going to let Isaiah's words just control?
Yeah, and that's a big moment.
Yeah.
Because for the people like myself, because again, my job is to listen.
Yeah.
Not to be like, well, I think you should do this. I think you should do that.
Exactly.
Because I can't speak to the experiences that put him in the position that he's in. So
yeah, exactly. But also, as I say, I have the old hope in my heart that he will still do it. But yeah, having Sarah say that, like, he has to take the time away. He has to see his nephews playing with the shield. Oh no, it's Bucky who sees the nephews playing with the shield. But you know, the audience sees it at least, and it's sort of the fact that this is inspirational and exciting, and
that is so truly. And you're right, like Sam doesn't see it, but that doesn't mean he doesn't know that they're doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
One assumes they do that a lot. Like, you look at Zeke right now. He's sending, like, this is my son. He sends me videos of him throwing his Captain America shield at bits of Lego because he's practicing throwing his mighty shield, right? And it's lovely because he doesn't give a fuck if Captain America is Steve Rogers or Sam Wilson. He's not like, one's mine and one's not.
No. Like,
he's like, that's Captain America. I throw my shield like the mighty Captain America.
They were in reception, so they were booze age. They were 4. And they had dress up day. And I remember Zeke going. And Zeke, Podlovians, right? Zeke is the whitest. Mm-hmm. Like, translucent.
So I'm Northern Irish, and Ezekiel's mother, Katie, our good friend, is very pale also.
Very, very pale. So Zeke is honestly, like, I have known this kid since he was a year old, and I used to change his nappies, and so I used to see this little tiny white body. We could see all his veins. Like, he is a white child.
White skin and little blue veins.
Blue veins. And I remember he went for a dress-up day as Black Panther.
Yes. Well, when we went to see Infinity War, he wore his Black Panther costume.
Yeah. And then I can't remember which one. Because I can't remember which kid it was, but there was one of the black kids. I think.
Right. Okay.
Was also dressed.
I might bleep out the use of like one of the children's names from art.
All right. I think.
One of the children.
Post bleeping, because I said a child's name. One of the other kids was also dressed as Black Panther, and there was a sort of, I'm actually black and I'm Black Panther. And I was watching them like, is there going to be any...
Like, you go and be Captain America.
Yeah, and there was nothing.
No, of course there wasn't.
There was nothing. They were just dead excited that they were both Black Panther. And it was lush. It was so cute. And it was very... Those black kids weren't like, oh, we can't be excited by Captain America because he's white, because
but it still matters to make sure everybody gets to see something they recognize in themselves.
Yeah. I mean 100%.
No. I know you're not saying that, like, you know, because you could say, like, you could use that argument to say, therefore, let all the heroes be white.
Oh no, I agree. I'm not saying that.
No, I know you're not.
I know. But it was just nice because when you take the innocence of children, before society and the world has taught them all the cruelties, because there's so many cruelties in the world based on your race or your sex, and when you take it down to kids who haven't had that, hasn't affected them, it hasn't changed their perception. All they see is cool superhero, and that's it. That is all they care about, and it's so pure. And I think that was a beautiful moment. Like,
well, yeah, I agree. Like, when we went to see Infinity War, Zeke and I, and he was wearing his Black Panther costume, and again, you can see his little very, very, very white chin. Oh no, it was his whole face. He didn't have he had the mask.
Yeah,
but it wasn't like he didn't wear it. So that's a full head mask. There was 2 girls coming out of the cinema. And they're maybe like anywhere between 15 and 25, right?
Yeah. I know what you mean.
And one was like I can't remember, and the other was a black girl, and they were both like, oh, like looking at Zeke, oh. But it was the cutest thing in the world. And I'm not saying it's because this white boy wants to be Black Panther or anything like that, but it's just like you say,
it's the innocence of children. Like when you get older, you then have the burden on Sam to
consider the world makes it weird.
The world, exactly. Sam has to consider not just his own feelings about Steve and what this represents and the importance of it, but he has to consider the actual weight of the world for what it would mean for him to be the one with that shield.
Well, I think also, he has to consider the Isaiahs out there, right?
Yeah, but that's the point.
Isaiah's not on his own in how he feels. And also, he's not wrong to feel the way he feels.
No, he's not. That's the point. Like, there is a weight of the world.
Is so awful.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, but that's what I mean. Like, it's not just white people's perception of him. It is the weight of the entire world. The black people, the white people, everything has to be carried by him.
I love what this show is doing, because I think what he's doing is he's saying, I'm like Steve. Not the next Steve, not as good as Steve. Like, Steve was this fucking icon that no one else can reach.
No, I agree.
I'm like him. Is Sam's attitude, and I think he has to buy into that.
Yeah.
And also I think he's sympathetic to the Isaiah perspective.
Yeah, of course he is, because that's why he gave up the shield in the first place.
And yeah, exactly, and not just because he's like. So my response to all of these conversations is, as I've said a couple of times now, to just listen, because then I can respect the people who've had the experiences that inform the way they feel. He's had those experiences. We've seen him getting stopped by the police,
and
treated like a criminal because of his skin colour, whereas Bucky was like, is everything alright, sir? That is so fucking horrible.
It's so...
Isn't it? Like, because it's so common and we live in the world we live in, we know that it happens, so we're like, yeah.
Because he's having to deal with and process all of that. It's not just his feelings about Steve. It's not just his respect for what Captain America means. It can't just be because he's an adult. He knows all of this. He knows the racism. He knows all the different perspectives. He has loyalty and respect for the people who have been hurt by racism, but he also has love and respect for people like Steve who are innocent of it and what they represent, but with a knowledge of the white people who are, oppressive. Like, he has this whole world that children don't. And they'll grow up and they will discover it. Yeah. And they will learn. But you watch that community building that boat up, and there was white people, black people.
Well, the thing is, because Zeke's watching this, he's obsessed with it to the point that he's sending me videos of himself throwing the shield around.
Exactly. He's going to start to have an understanding.
Yeah, well, like Isaiah says it, like no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America. And Zeke's going to be like, why?
Yeah.
And he's not going to be able to sort of answer those questions with stories that he's heard listening to black people talk. He's just going to wonder why.
Yeah.
But it'll open up a concept, and he's a thoughtful child.
He is. Like, he has very
and I don't
adult...
mean like he's a sensitive, thoughtful, like, how are you today? I mean he's like,
he's not that. But he has very adult, mature. Yeah. He takes concepts and he's interested, and I think but isn't that a brilliant use of a show like this, because it's not preachy, and it's not ruining all the action.
Racists will think it is, because they always do.
Yeah,
if somebody's not racist, they take it.
Right, but what I'm saying is they don't sacrifice story and fun and action.
It's not like a special episode.
Yeah,
with a message like
exactly. It's not right. The priority always is the story and the entertainment. Like, we're here to be entertained. That's why we watch this stuff. And nothing about this show sacrifices that. But it incorporates something really important into it by
and also like something completely justified in terms of the world that we are watching, because Sam is who he is. He's a superhero.
Yeah, it's not it's not like they're stop all the story to do this. No, like you're telling a story about a black man in America who wants
but also a black superhero in America. Like,
he wants to be respected and do good in the world, but is facing this society. It's brilliant. I think it's a really good use of storytelling.
I agree. I couldn't agree more, actually. I think, we've gone around the houses on it. I don't know what else to say.
No, I agree. We can go back to the boat montage if you like.
Well, the boat montage has been broken up with John Walker going to address the parents of Lamar Hoskins. Do you want to talk about that scene? I mean, it's very sad and tragic because they've lost their son, and that's.
There's nothing much to say beyond that. Like, it's very moving, and they're devastated, and he.
You could question why he lies about what happened to Lamar.
I agree, and I think that's going to come back to bite him in the ass.
Yeah, I mean...
I think the choice to lie is going to come back and bite him in the ass, because he says to them, like, that was the man responsible. Like, he's not like, oh, I had to deal with the people, or I wanted to... he's very, very specific, and that's their kid. Like, that's their son, and he's just lied to their faces to try and justify his actions. So, I feel like there's going to be...
I think that you could argue he's doing it to be kind, because it's a more closure adjacent...
No, you're right.
And because it's John Walker, I'm not saying that we should leap to his... and give him the benefit of the doubt.
No, but that is a genuine interpretation.
He lied about it to Sam and Bucky too. That's the narrative he's clinging to.
Yeah.
That makes him feel like he didn't do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
And he clings to it to Lamar's parents. But I think that the thing is, no one will ever know what happened to Lamar because no one was filming it because it was happening in a building. No one will be able to disprove that. And so those parents, I feel like they get a better deal out of this whole shit show for them.
Yeah, I
If they think that the person who killed their son, the terrorist, because that's what these people are presented as.
Yeah, if the terrorist who killed their son
was chased down and hunted by his best friend and put down, not executed, not murdered,
stopped.
Put down. Like, that's, if I'm the parents of Lamar, I probably want to believe that.
Yeah.
Rather than, like, this dickhead killed someone else who was associated with the same people because...
Yeah, because if anyone killed one of our kids, I'd want to hunt him down myself.
And knowing that had happened would give me more comfort than knowing that Lamar's friend went and killed someone else in a fit of rage.
Yeah.
That wouldn't help me at all. I'd say, so the person who killed my son, who I nursed when he was a little baby, taught how to do millions of things, and now his whole thing is over because of the person, and the person who ended that is out there somewhere.
Like, you killed someone else. Like, thanks? Why? Like, that's got fucking to do with me.
Like, that's not helping. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, so I thought maybe there's a possibility that there was somewhere in there that he'd thought about it and thought, well, I could tell them the truth, but that's for me, not for them. The lie is actually better for them than him. And I don't know, because we don't know whether he's compulsively lying in order to create narratives that reflect well on him.
No.
Or whether he did that once and is now not doing that anymore. But, yeah.
So then we go to, what house is he at? Because I recognise it. Whose house is Sam training at?
It's his sister's home.
Is it?
So they have a I think so. I mean, I certainly...
That big old house, like...
Where Bucky sees the two kids playing with the...
No. Later, when he's practicing with the shield, like whopping it off stuff.
With his montage?
Yeah.
Well, the kids are there. He runs past them a couple of times.
Is that their house?
I think so.
It reminded... Like, maybe I was thinking I'd seen it. Maybe I'd literally seen it in this series. In my head, I'd seen it somewhere before. Okay, fair enough.
Does it look like Hawkeye's house?
No, that's lower. This house is tall. It's similar big land and big American house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, American houses have like a look, but no. Hawkeye's house is like lower with a bigger veranda. No, this is like a tall house, but I feel like Sarah's house is sort of more in a town. That was like out in the...
From my memory, and I'm not speaking with authority, there's like a dockside community of like traders, and they're all sort of busily sort of going about their piratey business, but not pirates, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. But yeah, maybe that's the house that is sort of where they actually live and they go out to the dock. Yeah,
because the boat is a house, right? It's a houseboat, right?
I think you can sleep on it.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they want to sell it, so They want to.
Paul
Sarah.
and Darlene.
Yeah, Sarah wants to. Is it Sarah?
Sarah.
Sam and Sarah. That's interesting naming. Like, there's an alliterative quality to the parents of Sam and Sarah Wilson. But Sarah wants to sell the boat. Sam never did. There's probably some kind of subtext in all of that too. And okay, so here's a thought, right? We talked about how Isaiah says no self-respecting black man would want to be Captain America. And Sarah says, what, you're going to just do what you're told by Isaiah and not make up your own mind? She gives him permission to, no, I don't have to agree. I don't have to agree with Isaiah. I can be Captain America. Right? Because that's what's going on.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he goes off, he starts whopping the shield around.
He's whopping the shield. That's the crucial point. He's literally
It's
practicing.
not just that he's running
Yeah.
and doing excellent flips and leaps and, like, very much enjoyed that. And he's there with his good old arms and he's running around the place and it's very excellent. But yeah, the point is, he's whopping that shield about. Yeah. Like, he's bouncing it off shit. He's all over that. He is practicing. He is training.
Yeah.
Which makes me think
Captain
that
America.
In next week's YouTube video, I will in fact not look like a twat.
There you go. Which is good.
Yay for me.
Yay for you.
Yay for me.
So yeah, I agree. I think that Sarah gives him the counter perspective from another black person who he respects, and another crucially black person who has said things like, "It always tightens around us." And
she's not blind to the world. She's not naive.
Remember what she said to Carly?
Yeah.
Like, America doesn't care about me, so why should I cheer on its mascot or something along those lines?
Exactly.
Last week.
Exactly. She's not naive. 100%. She's very socially aware. She knows what is going on.
She's not a child, is the point.
Exactly.
She's not a child with the innocence of a child.
Exactly.
She knows. She's been around.
But
and Sam
she
knows
also sees Sam. She sees Sam for who he is and what he can do and what he represents, and she's like, no, that's more powerful. I feel like for Sarah, it is more powerful to have a man like Sam taking the mantle of Captain America and everything that represents, and just saying no because I'm black and I won't. I feel like she's like, no, you are everything that should be. And
it's like there is a line in Angel, we live as though the world were the way we want it to be. And I feel like that's what Sam ultimately comes around to doing. Like, he could be, like he says, like, if you're black and you're American, you're either bitter or you're blind. Right? Isaiah says that to Sam.
Yeah.
And Sam is like, well, no, I'm not bitter and I'm not blind. He's passing a test. I'm not going to criticize Isaiah Bradley because obviously
he's brilliant.
The world has shat on him America has taken a big shit on him in a series of horrible events that he's got every right to be as disillusioned with America as he is. And I think Sam believes that too. But Sam also knows that there's two little nephews who play with the shield because they haven't been betrayed yet, and maybe you can give them something to aspire to, like you say, something to be inspired by.
100%.
And you get fewer bitter people at the end.
And those little boys, they aren't going to... If Captain America is the image of America, like, they sort of talk about it in the trial with John Walker, like, America, it can't be that. It has to be... Do you know what I mean? Like,
what do you mean? What does America have to be according to the trial?
I mean, I might be putting words in.
Oh no, because we can examine it after. But I want to know what you mean.
But I feel like the point of the trial was very much America cannot be brutal and unreasonable, and the image of
it can't be caught being.
Yeah, but I mean, like, the point is the image of America is good. America has this whole sort of like, we are the people that we're the free
world,
the good, the brave, right?
Well, the president is called the leader of the free world.
Exactly, right. So if those little boys, the nephews, grow up seeing that America is represented, and it has been represented by a white man, And now it's represented by a black man. And Sam is everything America is or wants to be.
Yeah.
Then...
Because, yes, the people of America get to decide what that is.
Yeah, but the point is...
And the people of America include lots of black people.
His nephews aren't going to grow up thinking...
It could never be me.
We're outside. Like, our country don't fight for us. Like, Sarah is saying to Carly, like, they're not going to grow up in a world where the fact they're black means that their country doesn't care about them, because their country is figureheaded by their uncle, who is a black man in that position. And that...
So, isn't there a parallel you could look at with Barack Obama? Because... the actual figurehead of the United States of America is the president of the United States of America.
Right. Does that mean that the next Captain America is going to be Trump?
Well, no, I think that the Captain America before Sam was a bit Trump. Although, let's be fair to John Walker, he's not. He's not
Trump.
He's not Donald Trump, no. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the actual figurehead is really the statesman. And this... is a thing that's happened, I suppose. It's the White House. It was built by slaves. And Barack Obama was the president. There's probably a lot of intellectual people in America who are black who have thought and had conversations about this that we sound like...
We felt like complete twats because we're just catching up on this.
We're trying our best to catch up on this very interesting cultural phenomenon.
But we are outside. We're UK. We aren't in America. I feel like if we were in America, we'd be more caught up because
we just don't like the ST-16 people because they're the scary northerners in fact.
Scary northern. They're on the wrong side of the tracks.
Which tracks?
The tracks up over Eccleshall Road.
By Tesco. Okay.
They're on that side of the tracks. We're on this side of the tracks.
We're ST-16. No, we're not. 17. What ST are we?
We're 17.
We're 17.
16's on t'other side of the tracks.
Thing is, I've been both, and so have you.
Yes, I have. We're very intermingling.
Yeah, there's not a lot of civil strife in Stafford.
No, there is. We do have graffiti on our end of the park, though.
We do have graffiti.
About ST-17 and ST-16.
Yes, we do.
Like postcode wars!
Yeah. Represent.
And we just walk past with our dog like, Lord above, the kids today.
The kids today, and also when I was a kid. So, what are we talking about? We'll get away from Barack Obama because we're in Marvel.
I was ST-18 when I was a kid.
Good Lord, you posh bird.
I know, I was in 18.
How yarlet of you.
It wasn't yarlet, it was millet.
I'm terribly sorry.
It should be yarlet.
I'm a mongrel. So, let's get back to this excellent episode of TV that we've been talking about for hours.
Yeah, I've been talking about for hours.
It deserves it though, right?
It does.
We're now
Sam whopping that shield around, but Bucky,
I'll tell you what, Bucky looks great in his blue top.
You know what? You used to have a blue top like that.
I still do. I just don't fit in it anymore.
Lockdown, baby.
This is encouraging to me, though, right? Not encouraging, but like inspiring. I'm not like his nephews throwing a shield around. Like I could be Captain America. I'm like I could wear my blue top again and be like Bucky.
I sleep in that top now.
Well, stop.
No, it's comfy.
You'll give it boob stretches.
No, the point is, if I wear it, you won't give it boob stretches.
Oh my good Lord. I'm not drinking another glass of wine one day. So this is the scene. This is the scene where Bucky says, him and Steve couldn't understand.
Yeah.
And Sam says, thank you for acknowledging that and for apologising for being a twat about it.
They are great, aren't they?
They are
I swear,
great.
Honestly, in this scene, and they say like, we're not friends, like we have a mutual friend.
Yeah,
we're just
I love
guys.
How they acknowledge that they've got a friend in common. Like,
yeah, and it's basically what they're saying is we're mates now. But they're also like, we aren't gonna say we're mates now. Like we have a mate in common, and like
yeah, and also there's a great line Sam says, it might surprise you, but it doesn't matter what Steve thought.
Yeah.
And not like, what a dickhead.
No.
But just like, he's not God.
Yeah, exactly. He's still a human. Like, the thing is...
He's like us.
Like, because he's gone, and because of everything he represented, when people die, it's really easy, and like, I'm guilty of this too. When people die, it's really easy to sort of sanctify them in your brain.
Yeah.
But actually, everyone is just a person. And everyone's dealing with their own crap. And everyone is just a human being trying their best. And I think, yeah, it's really important that they acknowledge that, yes, Steve was a great guy. And he meant the world to both of them.
Top fella.
Like, obviously. But also, you don't have to agree with him.
He doesn't have to... His opinion of you doesn't have to define you. And I think that's pretty much what Sam says to Bucky.
Yeah.
And I think the reason he's able to say that now is because he's starting to get that for himself. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to take the shield because Steve gave it to me. I'm going to take it because
my
nephews deserve to see.
And yeah, he's earned it. He deserves it, and it matters. It's not just... Because if it was just Steve said it, he'd have taken it to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
He'd have just done it, right? Oh, Steve says it, therefore I'll do it. But it's no, he has to come with it. He has to come to accepting that it's on his terms. It has to be on his terms.
Yeah.
Because otherwise he wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, exactly.
But now he believes it.
It's a great point because you're right. If Steve's word was good enough, he'd have taken it in the first place.
Yeah, and he didn't.
And then it'd have been like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough, like Bucky is. And that's why Sam's telling him now. And I say now, I mean like the bit that we've got paused on the screen where they're throwing the shield together and Bucky's got his fabulous blue top, which, it's an open neck blue top. I am so fucking jealous of his physique because he's not a million miles away from what I look like when I'm in good shape.
May I just say, there is a reason. Look at that man, right?
Yeah,
if you had more hair on top of your head.
All right. There's the bits I can control and there's the bits I can't. The hair I can't do much about.
With the stubble and the big Irish forehead.
His forehead is not big and Irish. I'm sorry, but it's not.
Compared to...
He's got a TV person's forehead. It's a small forehead.
Oh no, but compared to Sun forehead, Sun is a big forehead. There's a significant amount of skin there.
I think you're insane.
Not as much as yours. I feel like Sebastian Stan is 30-year-old John.
Well, thank you. I mean, when I was 30, I did have a much more similar body shape than I do now to him.
I had a similar body shape to Sharon than I do now.
You
so,
did, yeah.
Like...
Oh, yeah, I mean, time does what it does.
We is old now. We is old, and we've just done a year and a half of lockdown.
I will bet you that Sebastian Stan is older than me.
How much do you bet?
£20 a curry.
Right. If you bet me £20, you have to buy me a curry.
Wait, does it not depend on who wins?
No. Okay, so what year, right, because I know, because I'm looking at him on the IMDb, right, what year were you born, Jonathan?
I was born in the year of our Lord, 1983.
So what year do you bet Sebastian Stan was born?
Well, given he was in Captain America, the First Avenger, which came out in, 2009, at which time I was, 26. This is what I'm saying. I think he's probably about my age. I think he's got Hollywood looks, and yet he looks about the same age as me, to me. And therefore, I think he must be a bit older than me, because I think I probably look older than I am.
So what year? What year do you think he was born? Because
81. I'm going to guess 81.
Wrong.
Go on, is he younger than me?
No. He is about 6 months older than you.
He's 6 months older than me?
He was August 82.
August 82. So he'd have been in the year above me in school.
Yeah.
But he'd have been a young person in that year.
Yeah, he's about 6 months older than you.
So I wasn't wrong.
You weren't wrong. So you do not have to buy me a curry.
You have to buy me a curry.
I did not agree to those terms.
Podlovians, tell JJ Barnes.
I said if you are wrong, you have to buy me a curry. But yeah, he's 6 months older than you.
I knew it. I'm a spring chicken.
He does look like you, though.
He's the movie star version of me. Yeah.
Who's the movie star version of me?
Well, the pop star version of you is Lisa Loeb in the 90s. We've
100%.
established that.
Yeah.
Possibly
my friend Lisa Loeb on Twitters.
You and Lisa Loeb do
we chat on the Twitters. We do.
Also,
I'm very cool.
The what's her name?
What's her name?
The Deschanel.
Zoe.
She's a bit you.
She's a bit me.
Like movie you.
I'll take that. She's like a pretty slim version of me. With better hair. She has a lot more hair. I'll take it. I'm fine now. I'm either Lisa Loeb or Zoe Deschanel, so I'm just gonna preen.
There you go.
You can preen as Sebastian Stan.
I will, but I need to...
May I just say that Zoe Deschanel and Sebastian Stan would make beautiful babies who probably wouldn't attack you with a shiv.
Well, true, but maybe that's why they'd lose in the end. Whereas Buffy, our 4-year-old, will
she'll take you down.
Like she's gonna live up to her name and then some. I think. Let's get into the montage because it's fucking brilliant, right? It's just great. Like, okay, so first of all, I have to say, because I don't like the shield, like things when you throw them, they slow down when the air resists their traveling through the air, right? But the shield doesn't. It zips about like it doesn't.
It's like a boomerang on speed.
It's like a boomerang on speed.
Yeah.
He's throwing it about. And I like that we see it not going to plan all the time. Like he drops it a couple of times. Sometimes he has to duck out of the way of it. He's sprinting. He's, doing these
He's training. He's learning. The point is...
He's doing press-ups on the side and it's just... Like, it's great.
It's fabulous, because you're right. Sometimes he misses it. Sometimes he has to duck out the way. Sometimes he tries to catch it and get it. Like, this isn't, I was born to this, or I was...
He hasn't been handed it.
Yeah, he's working for it. He is learning and growing and improving, and he is becoming the person who should carry that shield. And... you see that it matters. Like, he's dedicated. He's not twatting around. Like, he is committed to it. And he doesn't have the super soldier serum. He is working to it purely by determination, will, and strength.
And, like, neither did Wyatt Russell... sorry, not Wyatt Russell.
No, but he went for it.
What's his name? John Walker. When he got the shield, he didn't have it. When he was throwing the shield around, he didn't have it. So in this stage of Sam and John's journey, they're doing the same.
Yeah.
But you know that Sam will treat it with respect. Like, he's just a better man.
He is a better man. He's a better person. I agree. And look, the little boy, when he's like looking at the shield, like he's inspired.
God, look how proud he is. Look how proud he is.
Look, oh my God.
So Podlovians, we were looking at
Anthony Mackie has a beautiful face. May I just say, he has a beautiful face.
Papa Doc.
What?
Well, I said this last time. He was Papa Doc.
What is a Papa Doc?
Papa Doc, the enemy of Eminem in the movie 8 Mile.
Right, I'm sorry. The kids today, like our daughters, Rose and Buffy, have been fighting over who gets to be Howard the Duck. Right? So I have... They have been playing games today.
I'm going to pour some more wine. Keep talking.
They've been playing games today, and they keep arguing over who gets to be Howard the Duck in their games. So I've heard duck a lot today. I'm very used to be confused about people talking about being ducks. So he's not a duck, he's a dog.
In Eminem's movie 8 Mile, he plays a character called Papa Doc.
Not Duck.
Doc, D-O-C.
Right.
Papa Doc.
I'm fine. It's fine. I've heard people arguing about being a duck all day.
That's fair enough. He's really good, actually, Anthony Mackie as Papa Doc.
He's really good in Black Mirror.
I hadn't seen that. Is that the one where he's like gay but not gay?
Yeah, he's playing a computer. There's a computer game.
It's like his friend is like a woman online, and
exactly.
Right.
And they online get into it, and then like. They're both straight and they have wives, but then they meet offline, and he's very. I'm
sure he's very good. I despise Black Mirror. Sorry.
I binged Black Mirror when we came back from hospital with Boo.
Well, I'm glad you survived.
Well, I watched it back to back because I couldn't fall asleep because I was so frightened she'd die.
Right.
So I was like, what can I do if I'm terrified our baby will die? I'll watch the most depressing TV show in history. Until it's your turn to wake up and you take over, and then I go to sleep.
It is the most depressing TV show in history, isn't it? It's like sad sci-fi.
But it was how I kept myself awake until it was your turn, and then you kept yourself awake until it was. You probably kept yourself awake watching something far less depressing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I don't hate myself as much as you apparently do. So we move on to the flag smashers. In the Falcon Winter Soldier, Carly Morgenthau, who is 100% a redhead.
She's a redhead.
There's no question about that now. She got some help to even out the odds. It's Batroc the Leaper.
From the first episode. In the helicopter.
And from Captain America Winter Soldier, he's the guy who Captain America fights on the boat.
Yep.
And he's a comic book character. And there's a little bit of something interesting in this, which is not that interesting because it's the Flag Smashers, but you've got Batroc is pretty much just like a straight up bad guy.
He's like, I just want to kill the Falcon. Yeah, I'm not interested in your cause. Yeah. I don't care about your politics. Yeah. I just want to kill the Falcon.
Yeah. And Carly's guy is like, oh, we're working with criminals now. And she's like, haven't you heard? We are criminals.
Yeah.
So you get that kind of... And then there's this weird dollhouse thing. So
I'm confused,
someone, and then everybody in the fucking vicinity becomes like a zombie on their cause.
When she sent the text, right?
Yeah.
I was like, and they were looking at them. My first thought was she was going to be like, there's a bomb in this area. Get out because we're blowing up a specific location.
Yeah.
Right? To get rid of the innocents. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It's like apparently everybody in the
park... They look like zombies.
...is a flag smasher.
But they weren't.
They weren't. They were just hanging out.
That's why I say it's like Dollhouse. Because, okay, so in Dollhouse, there are two time phases in Dollhouse. The pre-event, if you like, is where in the dollhouses they can wipe your memory and make you someone else. Mm-hmm. And you go out into the world and become a prostitute or an assassin or whatever. And then after the event, it's like that technology has been weaponized. So it's like Mad Max. It's like a dystopia. Right, and so everybody gets a phone call, and it's like The Happening. No, not The Happening. It's like Bird Box.
Bird Box, right?
Where everybody gets a phone call, and then they go insane. And they start trying to kill people. That happens in Dollhouse. It felt like that. She sent a fucking text message out, and then all these people started zombie walking towards her in the park. And I'm like, do you have some kind of weird technology where you can
because they didn't brainwash have that before. People? I've been in Central Park. I don't want to get brainwashed by a flag smasher.
No. Or are they all true believers who are there pretending not to be?
Right.
But why? Why are they pretending not to be?
Pretend to be having... I agree. Are we going to get an answer to this in the next episode?
I hope so. It feels like there's like a radio wave trigger that is turning people into loyalists to the Flag Smashers. That's what it looks like to me.
Yeah, I agree, because they were just people hanging out. They were just...
And either that was just to create an optic, whereby if you were looking, you wouldn't look too closely because it looks like everybody's just hanging out.
I agree. That could be it, because that was my other thought.
It's a pretty big thing to do otherwise. If you're mind wiping people, I know Wanda did that last time, but it was a big deal.
But that was the whole point of the... I agree. And they've only got one episode left.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So not a lot of time to clarify.
Right, so we've been podcasting for about 8 hours now.
We have.
Yeah.
So now Sam is watching on the TV that, bad things are happening. Torres is on the phone. He's got, he's doing the sort of the guy in the chair stuff.
I love him. I'm chuffed to doll rags that he's going to be...
Chuffed to doll rags.
That's something my mother used to say, so don't judge, right? That he's going to be Falcon. Oh, yeah, and they go to the GRC...
Yeah, the global reintegration.
Yeah, and they have all the screens go black and zippy.
Yes.
I know we're not there on the screen yet, but they're gonna.
Basically, the Flag Smashers have infiltrated the GRC.
Right.
At the higher.
Here's my thinker-nudes.
Give me your thinker-nudes.
Right. If they've got the tech, because I know one of the guys, the janitor, he's gonna appear in a minute on the screen, right? The janitor guy who closes, or he might be security. I'm not sure. But he was one of the guys in the park. I recognised him. Right, if they've got the technology to take over the technology in somewhere higher, like, I think it's like the UN.
Yeah.
That's where Phoebe gave massages outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Then maybe they do have the technology to mind control people.
If they do, well, we've not seen that before. It would explain how they've done a lot of the things they've done.
Yeah, I agree, because, like, they are infiltrating, like, a massive government thing. And, like, I know they've got, like, a guy who's doing, like, the door, but that is some serious heavy lifting technology-wise, and they don't seem like they're rich. You know, they're not Tony Stark.
No, they're not. I mean, there's no saying what geniuses they've got aligned with them.
Yeah.
Mama Donya, we don't know anything about her, really, because she doesn't matter in this story. She's just a character who means something to a character that doesn't have a lot of interesting scenes and, you know, an interesting name. Mama Donya. Like, okay, yeah. That's not like Jill, you know.
Jill.
But the Flag Smashers are crap. Like, this
is the fucking problem. I am so much more interested in everything but the Flag Smashers. When it goes to Flag Smasher stuff. To be fair, I quite enjoyed the UN scene with the...
Well, it was dramatic.
Yeah, I enjoyed that with the screens going, the lights going out, because it was interesting. But the Flag Smasher stuff, I'm really struggling to connect to.
Well, it's not you struggling, it's the TV show failing to give you something to connect to.
Everything else has been, like, right, Sam, and, like, I want to know what is in that box, right?
It's a Captain America suit from
I
Wakanda.
think it's a Captain America suit from Wakanda. And I think, right, not only is it a Captain America suit from Wakanda, I think it's a Captain America suit from Wakanda that has been, if you wear it, it gives you the equivalent strength of a super soldier without having to be injected with a super soldier serum. Like, it's a super suit.
Yeah.
Right?
Like Black Panther's suit.
Yes, exactly. But it's Captain America's super suit.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is too.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm fine.
No, I agree. I think that that's exactly what it would be.
Yeah,
because
right?
They made a suit for their superhero
and it's not going to be like a weapon or like, right, because you could be like, oh, what's it going to be, right? It could be all sorts of things. But I think it's going to be a suit that, because he said, like, he doesn't want to take the super serum. He, like, specifically said, and he knows that. So I think it's going to be a super serum suit.
A super serum suit, like Black Panther has.
Exactly.
So, if you consider...
Blue and red.
Consider something about Wakanda, right? Their monarch, their king, is also their superhero.
Yeah.
America has a president and also a superhero. They're not the same person.
Mm-hmm.
They have their president who is elected by the people. They have their superhero who is kind of picked by people who are elected by those people.
Mm.
Wakanda looks at this and says, who do we want to be Captain America? John Walker or Sam?
100% Sam.
Right, not just because he's...
No, not just because he's black.
Oh,
because he's...
sorry, I wasn't even going to say that. Not just because he's what we know him to be, but what Wakanda knows him to be.
Yeah.
Which is a warrior, a good man.
Yeah.
Not the person who broke Zemo out of prison.
Yeah. 100%, like...
Everything they know about him.
Like, the thing is, like, with Bucky, they like, she called him White Wolf.
Yeah.
Like, they love Bucky. They
love him, but they also don't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Sam didn't do that.
Exactly. They aren't treating Bucky like you're an enemy because of your crimes in the past. They're not. They respect him. They love him. They talk to him with affection and history. He's a man they care about. But they aren't under any illusions. Like, no, you aren't the pure soul.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sam's the pure soul.
Sam's the pure soul.
So yeah, I agree. I think it's a super suit.
And not like an Iron Man thing. Like, he's not going to fly about.
No.
He'll be able to jump really high.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a suit. In my opinion,
I can't wait to watch it.
Theory, it is a suit that gives him the same powers as John Walker had as a super soldier, but without the super soldier serum, and with the faith and trust of the people who made that suit, that the power isn't going to go to his head or manipulate him or turn him into a monster.
And it's not cheap. Like, when you write a world like the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The idea of like, well, the Wakandans, they know how to make a super suit. They've done it before. So if we need a super suit for Sam, we'll just...
Oh, yeah, but no, it's not.
It's not cheap. We've seen that they don't do things like this. They didn't give Bucky... They gave Bucky an arm that they could then deactivate when they wanted to.
They don't just give it to... Like, they don't. They have incredible technology and power and strength. And they... we're saying they as if they're one people, but I mean they are one people. But
well, like any state is a state.
Yeah, exactly. The state people, the country of Wakanda, they use their power wisely.
Yes, that is so well put. They use their power wisely. They see in Sam an ally.
Yeah,
and they empower him to be.
And not just an ally to them. The thing is...
To the world, yeah.
To the world. It's not like, oh, he'll be good for Wakanda. They don't see it like that. In my opinion, I don't know. But my opinion, they're not like, oh, Sam will be good for Wakanda. Because they have got people in Wakanda
I don't think it's political chess either.
It's not like they have got plenty of people in Wakanda who can take care of Wakanda. What they have in Sam is someone who that is a person outside of Wakanda who can do good for the whole world. We have people in Wakanda who can do good for Wakanda and the rest of the world.
Yeah,
and we need someone in America who can do the same thing.
Exactly. They've seen that America's not going to not have a Captain America.
Exactly. They're like, this is a superpower.
A superpower. It's best to have an allyship with them.
Exactly. And the person who has the superpower in that superpower should be somebody who is good. And not just somebody who's like, yay, I'm super powered. I'm going to batter people.
Exactly.
Someone who's actually thoughtful and true.
And ultimately, a warrior who's also a pacifist. Because that's what he is. If he can find a peaceful way or a non-violent way out of conflict.
Like when he talks to Carly.
Exactly. He will take it. He will pursue it. Really? And do you know what? That's better than Steve. Steve Rogers. We never really see him going to the same lengths to try and avoid physical conflict.
What really pissed me off with Carly, right? She has this time with Sam in the last episode. And I know she blamed him for John Walker busting in. But
she's got to be smarter than that.
Yeah, and also he told her that wasn't him. And then she's more than happy to just...
team up with Batroc the Leaper who wants to kill him.
Yeah, and she's like, that's fine. And I'm like, Carly, he gave you the respect.
She's not heroic.
I know, but
she's like Zemo.
Me.
She's just like Zemo. Zemo is the same. Zemo would make the same decision.
Yeah.
I think actually Zemo, the time that he spent with Sam, he'd be more inclined to enable Sam than Carly is, because all Carly's done is spend half an hour with him. Not even that, 10 minutes. The Marvel fan podcast, I don't know if I said that right, the MCU fan cast, whatever it's called, it's Sean Gerber and Paul Herman. They've got a great podcast, and Sean Gerber made a really good point about how Sam waited during the funeral for Mama Donya. And we didn't talk about this, and I don't think we've talked about it away from podcasting either. But it is interesting. It's worth mentioning that Sam respected the funeral.
Yeah, I agree.
And didn't just go straight in. And he knew he only had 10 minutes. So he was using his own time.
Yeah, and he didn't take it. He respected the... Yeah, I agree.
He showed himself to her. He was there. He was he made eye contact with her. And
she knew he was there.
She knew he was there. He knew that she knew that he was there. And yet he stood there and...
let the funeral happen.
Let them say goodbye to their beloved person that they wanted to say goodbye to.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. It shows his respect and care for people.
So the only thing we've got left to talk about is John.
Likes, dislikes.
Oh, did you actually watch the post-credits bit?
There's a post-credits bit.
There is a post-credits bit.
What post-credits bit?
Let's talk about likes and dislikes. When we get to it on our watch, I'll tell you, and you can watch it live and give your response.
Oh my gosh. We've got subtitles, so I don't need the volume on.
Yeah, and there's no dialogue in it.
Oh, okay.
So what did you dislike? Did you dislike anything?
No.
No, that's
No,
fair enough.
I loved it. I genuinely, I was so excited and intense because I loved the boat montage.
Yeah. Some of the boat montage bits, I felt a
and
little.
You know what's really funny?
Bored.
When I was watching it, I was like, I bet John doesn't like this. But I was also like, I'm having a great time because they are fine.
It wasn't because they're fine that I didn't like it. I got bored and started thinking about other things.
Yeah, but I know, but you wouldn't appreciate the fine.
Henry Jackman, the composer, who's written the music in this show, like he's incredible. He does incredible work. He builds to moments. He delivers. He's an exceptional composer, and I'm ashamed I don't know his name more, with more familiarity.
So what else has he done? Or
I don't know.
Research that.
This is what I'm saying. Like I'm ashamed to say I don't know what else he's done because I know he's done films because I checked it after last week, but I don't know. I'll have to find out. Wyatt Russell is the son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
No way!
Did you not know this?
No.
And the stepbrother or half brother of Kate Hudson.
Yeah, I mean, wait. I thought Kate Hudson was the daughter of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell.
Not both of them because 100% Wyatt Russell is the son of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn.
So Kate Hudson is probably Goldie Hawn's daughter by the first marriage.
I've got no idea. I've got absolutely no idea.
Interesting. I mean, talented as fuck family, may I just say.
Yeah, good on them. Like, Kurt Russell was in the MCU. Right, so we've got our scene. Hammering. There's hammering. There's a picture of Lamar and...
Oh, he's hammering. What is he making? Is he making a new shield? Right, he's hammering, he's drilling, he's there's a saw. Oh, it's a welding mask. Oh, it's a medal.
A medal of honor.
A medal. He's making a new shield. Excellent.
He's painting it.
Red. Oh, with the stuff. So, right, talk to me, because you know comic book lore.
Tiny bit better than you, but not much better.
Oh, way better.
There's lots of people who read comics all the fucking time.
I know.
I don't.
I've read comics, but I generally read like thriller novels, so it's like.
So he's US agent, right? US agent is
that's what you said before. That was what I was trying to remember. US
copycat
agent.
of Captain America. This all plays really
It's beautiful.
Perfectly.
It's perfect. Very good.
I am Captain America, but Sam will be actual Captain America. John Walker will be like claiming to be, and there'll be friction because of it.
I love it. It's brilliant.
I agree.
So have we covered everything?
We've covered everything. Is there anything you like that you haven't mentioned? Is there anything you dislike that you haven't mentioned? And if not, we can go to thoughts and theories, but I don't feel like there's a lot.
I think we've kind of done thoughts and theories.
Yeah, I don't know.
What are your thoughts and theories? She's Madam Hydra, so we know what.
Madam Hydra, that's not... That is pretty straightforward, I think.
Mm-hmm. What do you think they're going to do with Madam Hydra?
Nothing in this. I think that's just setting up more stuff for another time. I don't know when. I don't really want to know when. I just love that it's there because I know it'll come back up.
Oh yeah, 100%. I really enjoyed her, so I would like to see more.
I'm bought in already.
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch anything.
Oh my god,
that these people make.
Me too. So, thank you very much for listening to this week's podcast. It's incredibly long. I don't even know how long we've gone on for. And I swear, it's
10:30 where we are.
Maybe 40% of this podcast was not talking about the actual show we're podcasting.
A lot of it was, I think.
A lot of it was. Thank you for listening. If you go to www.sirenstories.co.uk, it's Siren Stories, the podcast, spelled the same way. You can subscribe and you can be in with a chance of winning free stuff every month.
What are we giving away?
This month it is Emily the Master Enchantress by, I don't know, some bloke. He looks a bit like Sebastian Stan, but bolder.
He's a lovely guy.
I'm quite fond
His name is Federico The Greek.
No, it's Jonathan McKinney. And yeah, a free copy of that. And yeah, if you can leave us a review for our podcast, we'd be really grateful. And you can come and find us on social media. Basically, if you go to sirenstories.co.uk, you'll find our pages, you'll find links to us, everything else, everybody else with Siren Stories is doing too. And we
listen to my Agatha Roll Along metal version.
Do that. And yeah, I mean, yes, absolutely. Yeah. And we will be back again next week, and we'll probably talk even longer. It'll be the series finale. We'll probably have even more wine. It'll be the series
finale. We won't have any more episodes to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna drink a hell of a lot more than we have this week, because we're gonna be podcasting longer and be more overexcited.
If we're going to talk for longer than this, I don't want to drink more than I've drunk tonight.
So, thank you very much for listening. We will be back again next week with the final episode of the Falcon Winter Soldier podcast. Before Loki comes out, we're probably going to do some movie reviews. Not always with me. It'll be you and possibly Luke doing film reviews and general chatter about stories until Loki comes out, and then we'll resume our normal weekly
and
podcast.
We'll do the Nevers too.
Oh yeah, we're going to do the Nevers,
which was created by someone who we don't know.
We don't know. I know. But yeah, we'll do that, and yeah, there'll be film reviews. You and Luke, we're going to do
Edge of Tomorrow, I think. Or,
right?
Is that what it's called? Tom Cruise reliving the same day over and over again. And
Groundhog Day.
Yes, Tom Cruise's Groundhog Day.
Yeah, okay, that's cool. You and Luke do that.
Ground Cruise Day. Groundhog Cruise.
Ground Cruise Hog.
Yeah, Ground Cruise Hog.
The Cruise Hog.
Cruise Hog Day.
Cruise Hog Day. And yeah, basically, if you go to sirenstories.co.uk, you'll find everything over there and you can come chat to us. And
I will bring the same level of seriousness to my conversations with Luke and other friends that I bring to my conversations with JJ about these things.
And while he does that, I'll be upstairs reading. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll be back again next week. Bye.
Thank you.
We are very mature.
We're extra mature.
I feel like we are extra mature cheddar podcasters.